Hello everybody. Today I'll be presenting on Millennium Park in Chicago. I'm Adam Wise, and before I say the reason, I just want to share the reason that I chose Millennium Park is because this summer I'll be interning in Chicago, so I figured it'd be a great opportunity to learn more about the space before I go to the city. So to start off with the location, so Millennium Park is located in the Loop community area of Chicago. So this is a big hub in the Chicago area. A lot of people use this space to hang out and spend time. And it's in close proximity to Lake Michigan shoreline. So it's at a really good spot in Chicago, central location, and a hub for a lot of pedestrian activity. So it's a great spot for the park to be placed. So now to go into some history. So planning for the park began in 1997, and then it opened in 2004. Some interesting stuff I found. It was 4 years behind schedule, and so that kind of caused some conflict in the city, but overall it definitely paid off. So when it opened, there was a 3-day opening ceremony with around 30,000 people, and also a concert took place there to celebrate the opening of the park. Another interesting thing with the construction of the park, exceeded the budget by a ton. So it was proposed to be around 150 million, but then ended up being 475 million. This is just another interesting tidbit of information to kind of show how things didn't go necessarily as expected for concerning the construction of Millennium Park. But overall, it's an extremely popular tourist destination in the Midwest. And in 2017, it won top destination in the United States. So overall, it's been experiencing some huge success following its construction, the turmoil that it experienced in its construction. Okay, so the physical features, it's essentially a 319-acre portion of the larger Grant Park. So Grant Park spans throughout this entire city. So Millennium Park is just a portion, it's the biggest portion of Grant Park. To describe it further, though, it's an expansive green space, and it's built on top of a railroad yard and some large parking garages. This is known as a green roof in the construction world. And within the 319 acres, it has many artistic highlights, and we're going to be diving into the top three of those artistic highlights. So to start off with, we're going to be talking about J. Pritzker Pavilion. So this is a big centerpiece of Millennium Park, and it houses a lot of concerts, especially for classical music and other types of performing arts. The entire capacity holds 11,000 people, 4,000 of which are in fixed seats and 7,000 in the open green space you can see below. Um, so an interesting fact I found out about this structure is that they had to classify it as a work of art instead of a building to overcome the legal restrictions that come with its 120-foot height. So I just thought that was interesting that the creators of J. Pritzker Pavilion needed to kind of go through some red hoops in order to finalize the construction. And then another thing I noticed about the space is that the metal rods that you can see there on the top kind of act as a roof to provide a sense of enclosure to uh, the the people who are hanging out in the lawn and enjoying the entertainment that's going on there. So definitely a big centerpiece of Millennium Park and definitely an interesting spot to hang out and spend some time. Okay, next up, Cloud Gates. This is another really popular centerpiece of Millennium Park, mainly due to the fact that a lot of tourists that come here often take pictures around what's nicknamed the Bean. But it's a massive structure. It's 33 feet wide. It has a 66-foot length and 42-foot height. And it weighs a total of 110 tons. So it's a massive structure. And the artist's intention with the metal layers on the outside is to cause a little bit of distortion when you look at the city skyline through the bean or off of the bean, I should say. So definitely a big centerpiece in Millennium Park that attracts a lot of tourists with it. Lastly, Crown Fountains. This was something that I didn't even know about before starting this project, but it's another popular tourist attraction in Millennium Park. So essentially, it's an interactive work of art that utilizes what's called video sculpture in order to have participants and have viewers be able to kind of participate in the work of art. So essentially, what happens is this structure has a ton of LED screens on it that display typically digital videos of people's faces, like spitting out water into the little water park or water pool below. Um, So the water pool below is made out of black granite. It's a reflecting pool to provide a more aesthetic appeal. So this area serves as a common water park-ish area for local residents to cool off on the hot Chicago days. Okay, to finish up, the sense of place in Millennium Park, the foliage that it has and the artwork that it possesses, really give it the life that it has, and allow it to, kind of hold the title of one of the hubs of Chicago. Um, it's such an expansive place with a ton of artwork there, so it's really interesting to. I'm really looking forward to seeing it this summer and exploring it. But it's definitely the combination of the foliage and the artwork that really gives it its, a sense of place. And also something else that when I was viewing the pictures of it, that I found interesting is how the Chicago skyline surrounding Millennium Park really provides like a sense of enclosure and seclusion from the typical city life. You kind of just feel like you're in a portal in the city that's, away from the urbanized city, and you're more in a park space to kind of enjoy nature and relax from the typical busy city life. So that's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and if you have any questions, I welcome them. Thank you. Bye bye.